okay? The next one I'm going to give you is the cone image, and I want to show you again a little bit of the predictive qualities that are available to you and just get into the patch tool. I think this one works well for the patch tool. I'm just going to group these real quick, get them out of the way. So right now what I just have the image of the cone. I made a copy of it. I'll just throw that away just so it looks kind of, do that if we want it deleted. Okay, there we go. So we got the clone. Basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and get rid of these other pieces here. And I think I have two different methods that I did this. This is the patch tool, and then this was using content aware fill. And we're going to try both of them out so you can see them both. So I'm just going to make a duplicate real quickly just so I don't lose track of that. And the first one I'm going to do is the patch tool. So we'll make a new layer, call this patch. So the patch tool works like this, okay? It's a pretty cool tool. Again, notice that it doesn't give you the blend modes anymore, okay? But it has content aware and normal. In this case, you might find that content aware won't work as well. So a lot of people tend to not use content aware here, but you can play around with that. I'm gonna stick with normal. The two main ones here are source and destination. By default, you should be on source, not destination. Just going to select out. This is how it works. Just select out a section. Okay, and it becomes kind of a selection. You don't actually have to use any selections if you want. You don't have to do this. And then when you go into the selection, just notice, okay, it's going to, you can click, and then I'm going to an empty layer. I forgot. Actually, the clone it does not work on separate layers. You have to do this on the same layer. So I forgot about that. So I'm just going to click and drag this over, and you can see that that it does a pretty good job of finding some pixels to work with, right? So if I come over here, for instance, just grabs a section of that wall which I don't like, and let's try and take a little bit of this off right here. We'll take the selection, make it a little bit shorter. See how I'm hitting the a little bit tighter. I'm hitting the cone, so let's come over about right. Here. And you see how it matched pretty good right there. I was matching that part right there. Let me show you that one more time. I'm just going to drag over. And what you'll find is that in actuality, it just doesn't really, you don't have to do all this in one shot. So what people tend to do, make the mistake of trying to get all this in one shot. I'm going to do one shot. And what I'm trying to do is match just the edge of that line. I don't know if you can see it. It's coming over right now. That line is about to lag. So I'm using the wood paneling. And this again is going to do what we talked about before, where it's going to kind of crunch some numbers. And just notice it looks lighter, but when I let go, see how it darkened itself up? It kind of tried to figure out what I was trying to do. And there's a little bit of a, right? But let's do this one more time. So, again, what I found is students get a little bit caught up trying to do too much at once. So I find it's better just to do a chunk, make a new selection, and just now I'm going to line this line up. And you see how it grounds a little bit? Let's undo that. I don't need to be that low. So the tables, do you see how the table is kind of following this, making a little bit of lightness? Let's do that instead. And I could use this line too. I could use this line. It doesn't matter. I mean, as long as I can match these lines up, and this is a perfect project for this kind of layout. Deselect, okay. Spot that in the computer. So it looks pretty good. I think right here is a little bit, you could make one more selection, and I could maybe come up. So I can clean that up in pieces, right? Remember, pieces. That's what people tend to forget, is that they try to do everything all at once and expect it all to work, and then they just can't get it to work and they give up. But you can do this in chunks and pieces. But I do think it does work better to try and grab the whole thing to start with. So like, let's try and grab this whole thing here. And then, that's probably a little excessive. I could probably get away with taking some of that selection out. Remember, that's some Alt and Shift and that sort of stuff. Is these are selections. We've been kind of practicing these things, so removing selections and adding selections. I want to get rid of that shadow, right? Okay, so let's move this over here. So, right now I'm looking at those two middle lines, and those look pretty good. I'm gonna let go. I don't know why I did that one as well. Let's come back. Those. I'm just looking at the middle right now. Looks pretty good. I'm going to make another selection. Let's do something like this. Let's do it again. Let's grab this chunk. And let's come straight down. Like that. See that? Now I'm going to grab this section here. This. Okay. Feel like that doesn't look super great, so maybe do it too. But you can see what I'm talking about. Like, so you can just kind of go back and forth and just really mess with these and get them to look just the way you want. So when you're doing the patch tool, remember, don't expect it to happen on one shot. It's good to get one big chunk because it'll take care of most of the stuff, and then you can kind of go through and just pick out and pick out and pick out and patch and patch and patch. And when you're doing this sort of thing, that's how you're working with the algorithm. That's the trick to all this stuff, is that you're giving the computer more and more information about what you're trying to do. It's guessing, and then you're saying, good, but not perfect. Let's try this. And it's like, better, let's try this. And it's like, that's perfect. Let's go. And just you got to keep working with it. It's like you're together in this. Let's clean up this little spot right here. Sometimes it's good to go a little bit farther away. Cool. This feels like it just shows up a little bit, so I'm just going to kind of like that, right? This feels like it's kind of also sort of showing up, so I'm just going to see that. Now, clean. And you can see the slight differences when you go through. And this is kind of what that telephone pole was like, was trying to do that similar kind of stuff. So what you're wondering is what's the destination, right? So it's just the reverse of what we've been doing. So what we've been doing is we've been dragging out a section here, selecting it and moving it over and then making it disappear, right? And so it can line up a section of it, and it was looking at the tabletop, so. And I can make things disappear, right? The other way to do this is to do destination. So destination means that we take something and we place it. So now I'm going to take this, right, and I can make a duplicate. And it's going to be hard because the lines in the back aren't going to match, but put that in the match. Now, obviously, you can see that's a problem right there, right? Like I can't, you can see how it's not lining up with those lines, and so that's not as useful. But you can see how we can grab chunks and we can do destination where we take something and move it and replace it, or we can the opposite direction where we're trying to take something away. So it kind of they work together. It's a really great tool. It works really well. I mean, it's super awesome. And just so you can see that spot healing one more time. I was thinking it's not just for faces. Remember, like if when you're talking about editing, you're talking about things that stand out to you. So like, say for instance, there are a couple of things here that bother me. Like say for instance that right there. I'm set to lighten. Let's just go back to normal. Remember, normal is still going to use the algorithm, but it's going to be more generalized, right? So I can go through and find any of these little specks here that are bothering me on this, like that little white thing there and that one. This looks like kind of like a spider web here. So it works well also in these kinds of situations where you're just trying to clean up things that just for whatever reason they're just bothering you, right? You just want to kind of get those little dots to go away that are standing out to you. And it works well for that as well. So, like, don't like that. You could literally just paint that. But you see how it's pretty awesome. I don't have to pick out colors or anything. It just sort of figures it out for me and does it for me. And sometimes, when we're doing this kind of work, especially for money, this is the kind of thing you want to take advantage of. These are the tools that you're looking for because they're going to get you going much faster. And in the world of business, that's kind of usually the tool they're looking for. So all these predictive type tools, they are really going to be happening more and more and more. So you're wanting to learn them is going to be important if you're going to do this for a job. So that looks like. So here's before with everything in there, and you can see all the spots. So that's cleaned up, and that's what I'm going to ask you guys to do as well. So I want you guys to clean this thing up and get it to look as tight as possible. I'm going to show you one more thing just so you can see it. I know it's getting kind of long, but I want you to see all of these right now, okay? So let's hide this and we'll do, we're going to do this fill technique, which is content-aware fill. And this is one of their newest tools that they've been offering in Photoshop, and they're getting more and better at this than ever. So let's try it. I'm just going to make a big selection. Okay. Don't need to worry about making a new layer. So I'm just actually doing this from the regular layer, the first layer, the cone layer. So this is no fixes, right? So going back, starting over, and then we're going to go to Edit, and we're going to use this tool. This is kind of new, okay? This is Content-Aware Fill. Okay. You click on this, and it opens up a whole dialog box, and it's really pretty interesting what this thing will do. It gives you a preview of what it will look like, and you can see the lines, what's happening. Not the perfect look, right? I think one of the things I did in Bass was I tried to fix it with some patch tools and stuff like that after. But let's cancel. Let's see what we can get if we get a better selection. Like say for instance, let's make the selection more refined or closer to the shape we want. Okay, now let's do that edit. See that? It's almost gone altogether. And this green stuff, it's saying, well, what do you want to, it's sampling the entire image except for this part. So let's say, for instance, I don't want it to look at the pine cone. So you paint that out, and it's no longer looking at this pine cone. It'll only be looking at, so it crunches numbers. It looks basically the same. Let's take out this thing here. basically kind of the same. It didn't really do that much, but let's just say it's going to make a new layer. It does have a lot of things here, but for the most part, you'll find that these won't do too much, but you can play around with them, and it's kind of cool is that you do full, you'll see it's going to crunch some numbers, and then you see it's still crunching number. It actually created a waiver there. It doesn't actually really help. I think none was actually a better solution for this thing. So again, they're predictive. You don't know how they're going to be necessarily. You're just going to have to try them out. Pretty good, wouldn't you say? Let's see that one more time. We'll do this over here. We'll select out this section. And I have to tell you that this stuff is, when they first came out with it, it didn't work very well. But it is getting so much better now. Pretty great. I mean, look, you can see that one section there is missing. It's missing almost altogether. But I think it looks pretty good. I'll say okay. And then, again, this is where we can take that patch tool, right? And we'll just select out this section here. And I'll grab, oops, I'm going destination, let's go to source. There. As you can see, that's a little bit faster, right? Oh, wrong layer. Looks good. And in some ways looks better, right? Like, and so here's what I just did with content aware fill, and here's what I did with PatchTool. You can see a little waver in the line right there. It's PatchTool. You can see waver in line of mine though, right there. Actually, I don't know if that is. So that's my tool, that's theirs. And you can see the shine on the wall looks a little bit better on theirs. You kind of see like a little bit of a change right there on mine. That's the content aware fill. So don't be afraid of these tools. Like they are really useful. They do a great job. This is a pretty good image for this type of a tool and technique. So it won't work on everything, but they're really useful tools. So try them out. See which one works better for you. I'm going to end it there, and well done.